Hey, we are back. Welcome to another episode of the Night Audit. I'm your host, Chaz Barnes. If it's your first time being here, let me do you up. Yeah. If it's your second or third or fourth, fifth time being here, again, welcome back as well. Over here, we audit life before life audits us. We cover the news, we cover everything about culture, life, and everything in general. Couple housekeeping things. Make sure y'all hit the like button, comment, subscribe, rate, and review. We're doing some big things, some major things. We're small, but we're growing when we're showing, and we're just gonna keep growing and showing. I don't know. By the time most of y'all watch this video, most likely it probably will be uploaded tomorrow morning. But depending on where I'm at, if I get finishing, if I'm at a good stopping point, I may perhaps release the video tonight. And so it can be up for you all for tomorrow as well. If you watch it tonight, if it's you'll know whenever you're viewing this video, you'll know. Anyway, I got a couple stories we got to cover over here. I got 4 stories I need to cover. I got to talk about a Florida murder suspect captured after 2 months. A lot of debauchery going on over there. We got to talk about Gen Z turns to money maxing amidst credit card debt. We got to talk about a Metro Nashville public school teacher resigns over district practice. And I'm also going to play a video of the Darius person who was crying about the seniors, whatnot. And I know I've been hearing a lot of things about the guy. He's a scammer, whatever, former chef scammer, whatever the case may be. But his message is the message, whatnot. So I'm going to play that. And then before I get into that, so I'm going to do a little bit deep dive on that. And also we got to head over to Seattle. So Seattle is reacting to a recall charges against Mayor Katie Wilson, which I've been covering a little bit about Seattle. I got my eyes on Seattle. So we got all those things, everything I'm sorry. We got all those things over here in the audit. So again, make sure you hit the like button, comment, subscribe, rate, and review. Yeah, we're gonna get into this first story.
Murder suspect in Walton County is now in custody. This afternoon, the Walton County Sheriff's Office shared this picture of Isabella Johnson's arrest. She was taken into custody in Jackson County. Johnson wanted for the murder of Jason Cohart. His body was found in late June, buried in a shallow grave on Sunset Lane in Freeport. A $16,000 reward was put out for information leading to her capture. Now, 5 other people have been arrested for being accessories after the fact in the case. We're still waiting for more information from the Walton County Sheriff's Office on today's arrest.
Sorry about that. Y'all, these news stations and the audio, they gotta do better. The news anchor was talking again in the background. He was basically repeating himself, or at least the producers or editors don't know that they didn't edit out him effectively. So F on the producers over there at the news station. All right, so this is a little bit confusing. So I'm gonna do a little bit deeper dive on this because okay, just give a little more context of who this person is and what she was. I know she said it was a murder, but let's get a little bit of backstory. She was on the run for 2 months. So let's see. Murder suspect after let's see what we got. Okay. Oh man. Okay. So a Florida woman wanted for the murder of a man found buried in a shallow grave has been arrested after a 45-day manhunt that spanned multiple states. Isabella Johnson, 38, was taken into custody on last Thursday by the U.S. Marshal Task Force at home off of Peanut Road in Cottondale, Jackson County, Florida. The arrest followed information developed by the Walton County Sheriff's Office Cyber Crimes Unit tracking her communications. Deputies and task force members converged on the home around 2:30 p.m. without incident, and she was booked into Jackson County. So here's some background on the case. Johnson is wanted for capital murder of Jason Cohart, 43, a Niceville. Oh, that's pretty fitting. Niceville. Is people in Niceville really nice? That's a separate story. Resident who was reported missing on May 24th, 2026. On June 25th, investigators executed a search warrant at a property on Sunset Lane, Freeport, Walton County, and discovered Cohart's remains in a shallow grave. DNA testing confirmed the identity of the victim. The Walton County Sheriff's Office launched a manhunt for Johnson that lasted 45 days, involving over 40 subpoenas, 20 search warrants, and more than 20 arrests. 5 people have been charged directly assisting Johnson after the killing, including providing shelter, transportation, supplies, while misleading law enforcement. Authorities say additional charges are expected. The current status, Johnson is expected to be extradited to Walton County, where she will face further charges. Investigators are still working to determine how she ended up in Cottondale and who have aided her during her fugitive period. Wow. Wow. We're here, people. We got to talk about it. Okay, so like I always say, you got to audit life before life audits for you. For all the people that harbored, aided, and abated this woman, okay, was it worth it? We got to ask the who, what, when, and where, and how. I don't know if we'll be able to answer those, but I'm going to just talk those 5 questions up, but bear with me, work for me. What happened? That's the thing we got to figure out. What happened? Killed the man. We are in August, so this was 4 months ago. If I have my math right. 4 months ago. And it makes sense. And then they didn't finally get on the trail. They didn't finally get on the missing person thing didn't go out until 25th. No, that was a 20. I'm sorry. No, the missing report went out on the 24th. So this is in May. So this happened in May. And I don't know why she killed Jason. We don't know why. This is shocking and disturbing. Okay. And I don't know why the people work so diligently, risk their own freedom and possibly the rest of their lives for this. I have so many questions. I have questions, but I'm gonna really try to give some commentary to this because this is very disturbing. This woman right here, let me blow this back up. Let me blow this up. This woman here, Isabella, talk to us. What did Jason do to you? That's the first thing. The who, what, when, and what did Mr. Cohart did to you from Niceville? He's from a town called Niceville. She got a shirt that says "A force to be reckoned with." I don't know if I should be. I think in this case, I think I should be alarmed because I don't know if I should be. Which is it? Should I be impressed by that or should I be turned away from that? Because you are definitely a force to be reckoned with. 45 days? Talking about I don't know, man. Talking about y'all are bad. It's crazy. I'm trying to it's early in the week. I try to limit my cussing. But y'all are bad crazy because this doesn't make no sense to me. What did the man from Niceville, because he's from a town called Niceville? Which is a very unique name. I don't know if all the people, the residents of Niceville is actually nice. It'd be nice to know that if some of the residents there are nice. Apparently not. They may not be all nice because some of them probably ate it. They probably like, oh, you killed Jay. Oh, we got to cover you up. Nah, man, this is wicked. This is on wicked stuff. I've read this out to you all, and I cannot make any determination on why she did this. Why? Now you might say, because again, we have a lot of theories, right? Could they been in a relationship? Now, even if they are in a relationship, we're working on limited information, right? So even if it was in a relationship, what possessed you to kill this man and bury his body in a shallow grave? Possess Isabella. Talk to us. Because then now you got your co-defendants. Now you on rap. Now you looped in all your code. Now you got about 20? Because they executed 20 search warrants and 40 subpoenas. So more people are going down. Some more people are, maybe some people might not get as much time, but they definitely gonna be facing some. So talk to us, Isabella. Cause listen, Jason can't talk to us, right? But you can talk to us. Your people that's around you can talk to us. Because I most of the time when I do a crime story, usually there's some kind of lead up, right? There's some kind of, now it may be now there are some stories where it just happens and you don't know. And we're left to speculate and we're left up to theories because there weren't no notes. It wasn't like Jason left any notes and saying, hey, we don't know. It could be lovers. So I'm just gonna go with the lover angle. I'm gonna say they was lovers. But even though it was lovers, why would you kill him? What did he do? Was you pushed? Was you forced? Did your, because again, you got a bad friend group. You got a bad hombre of friend. You got a bad friend group. Your friend group, you got to the point you walk around with a shirt that saying a force to be reckoned with. A murder suspect got a shirt on that says a force to be reckoned with. Think about that. Think about that. Think about that. They try to hide her, they fed her, they clothed her. They did everything possible. Why? And I also gotta ask those people too. Why? For what? For what? What was the purpose? What was the reason? I know these are rhetorical questions, but we're here. The investigators gonna find out anyway, but we're here on the run for 2 months. 2 months. Even if he cheated on you, that don't mean you gotta kill the man. They ain't said she had any kids with that, thank God, because oh Lord. Like, what made you take down this poor man? This man from Niceville, this guy right here. This guy right here. What, he had a oh man, listen, he had a baby. He had a, I don't know. I mean, I don't know if it's I don't know. We don't know. We don't know a lot about this guy. We're working off this. We're working off a guy from Niceville. Now he does look pretty nice in this picture. He like does like a baby, you know that he looks nice presenting. I know say presenting. I don't, it could be whatever the case may be. This is just so strange. I don't even, my questions are like from the cybersecurity standpoint, tracking standpoint. It says, how did the cybersecurity or cyber crime tracking pinpoint the features of this? Because you at some point, somebody gonna get sloppy in the communications. If I'm looking back at this, I'm look over this one more time. And DNA testing, of course, so they DNA testing, but what did they cyber? The arrest followed information developed by, so they were tracking her communication. Somebody got sloppy. Now I don't know why they didn't really close in on her like immediately. I don't know when they knew for sure. I guess once it was confirmed, I guess in June, once it was confirmed, it was just a matter of time because I guess she was eluding them for a little while, right? Because she had people helping. I don't know. Let me just look. This happened like 4 or 5 days ago. Let me see if we can get some more, a little bit more details. A little bit more details. A little bit more details on this. I don't see anything. I don't see anything new. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. This is a very strange story for me to crack here, y'all. I don't know. I don't know. This is insane. I don't know. I'm pretty sure I probably know how she probably got found, you know what I'm saying? Because it was a $16,000 reward for her arrest. Somebody was like, you know what? I can't do it no more. I've grown a guilty conscience. Again, first of all, prayers up to him, prayers up to his family, right? This is very unfortunate because a lot, and nobody should be killing nobody. And I know it happens but a lot of times there's some lead up. Most stories, most murders or killings, there's some kind of lead up. Now there may be parts that we have to fill in the blank. We don't know because the investigator, so we're left to fill in the blanks on what possibly led up to it because I don't know, man. Maybe they was lovers. I just say they was lovers. They could be good friends with benefits, whatnot. I don't know. Maybe he started talking to another one. He maybe didn't want to be with her no more. Look at her. She's not having her best day anyway. Oh, you look a little sassy in the picture, you know. So look at that. Look at that. I mean, look at that. I don't know. She like a woman that don't take no for an answer. They got a smiley face. That's maybe maybe that sheriff's officer, that sheriff deputies from Niceville. But now I know because they know they got the task force and stuff like that. But she like women that don't say no. She don't take no for answer. No, Isabella. No, you gonna tell me no? Oh, okay. Okay. We gonna see about that. Impulsive. She seemed like an impulsive woman. She seemed, I don't know, because again, listen, over here, listen, I don't be like a very impulsive woman. Yep. Fellas, watch out. Watch out. I know lately on some of these stories have been the men knocking off the woman, but fellas, y'all gotta be careful. All box ain't good box. All box ain't good box. Okay. She might have the presentation. Her presentation may have been a 10, but the character, the standards were a -7. Man, Jason seen it through. He seen it through and it put him in the grave. Literally, no pun intended. It's unfortunate. Okay. My last question, which is not really, it says it's really from all this, from them harboring, from the fugitive harboring, it's essentially, I essentially just asked what are the specific criteria resulted in the 5 additional accessory arrests. You harboring it, you aided and abetting the suspect, which is, this point is that's not really something people really be debating. It's pretty obvious. If you harboring a fugitive, you're harboring anyone that's wanted by the justice system, that's a fugitive of the justice system. Chances are they give you opportunities to turn people in. You know what I'm saying? Because see, the thing about it is, investigators and everybody talk to everybody, and they take names. They take names of people. They get information on it, and because everyone is a suspect. Everyone is a suspect until they're not a suspect. Everybody's a suspect until not a suspect. Now I'm pretty sure they start checking off names and stuff like that because in this case, you double back. You want to make sure the story, because if you interview 20 people, you want to make sure you're trying to find inconsistencies. Now I'm only talking from the law enforcement standpoint, but you want to find the inconsistencies on, and then at that point you can start figuring out, okay, we know where Isabella at. But yeah, I don't know, man. This one gonna be, woo. I just want to know what led up to it. Was it part of some kind of cult? Was it part of some kind of ritual, some kind of sex cult? I don't know, man. Listen, maybe they probably some game animation code. We don't know. And I listen, we gotta lay all it out on the table, right? We gotta put it all on the table. We gotta lay it out. Were they co-workers as well? I know I did say lovers. So was they in some kind of swingers? And maybe Jason wasn't swinging like that. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I don't know, man. This is insane. Whew. All right. That's all I got on this one. We had to move on to the next story. I don't have anything. You in the comment section, when you watch this video, once you simulate the information or whatnot, you let me know what your theories are, what you think what this could be about. All right, we're gonna move on to the next story. We gotta talk about Gen Z turn into this thing called money maxing in the midst of all the credit card debt. We're gonna turn to it right now.
Americans are still pinching pennies, even as inflation went slightly down from 3.5% in June and now easing to 3.4% in July. Joining us now is personal finance expert and co-host of The Ramsey Show, Rachel Cruze. I love it, Rachel, that the youngsters are money maxing when it's a pretty old concept. So walk us through how the younger generation and really all Americans can start money maxing today.
Yes, I love that about Gen Z. I feel like they always take an old school principle and put a new term and rebrand it, and it's great. But it's what we've been talking about here at Ramsey Solutions for over 20 years. So money maxing really is getting the most out of your dollar, meaning getting out of debt, budgeting, investing. All of that is so key because people are sick and tired of working hard and not having nothing to show for it. And so taking control of your money is so important.
Yeah, so your advice is so solid and so time-tested, Rachel, because when you talk about budgeting, saving, building wealth, but also staying out of debt. That last one seems to be such a problem. The latest numbers that we have, $1.14 trillion of U.S. credit card balances, 4.5% almost up from a year ago. Talk to me about that.
Yes, the credit card problem, the consumer debt problem has always been there, but credit cards specifically. And I think families are feeling a real pinch. We see energy is up 15% from last year. Food is up 3%. So they are feeling this in their budgets. But the problem is when you depend on credit cards as your emergency fund, when something goes wrong, you go deeper into the problem. And so our goal is for you to be completely debt free, something extreme. Cut up the credit cards. Don't even depend on it, and actually save some money, save $1,000 emergency fund, and start working your way out of debt, because your income is your most powerful wealth building tool. And when it's not going out to 3 different credit cards, a student loan payment, and 2 car payments, you actually have margin back in your life. But that's going to require sacrifice by cutting your lifestyle, getting an extra job, possibly working more. But it is worth it. We're seeing so much freedom with people when they do this plan.
I raise it because the thing that I think is so important with your specific advice that you've been giving for years is that people understand that personal finance, as you say, is 80% behavioral and only 20% math. So when you stop and think about that, it's really important and pretty easy to apply.
You're exactly right, because everyone knows what to do, right? We understand live on less than you make. If you don't have the money, you probably shouldn't buy it, but that's how we live. And so your behavior has to change. And that's one reason I even love when you're getting out of debt, you pay off the smallest one first, because that is proof that it's working and that you have hope. Because when you actually believe you can do this, then you stick with the process. But so much of our money problems are us, right? I mean, yes, the big banks are there and they're taking advantage of us, but we're the ones actually doing the behavior. And so when that starts to change and you go back to common sense principles, we always say God's and grandma's ways of handling money. It works.
It sure does. And great advice, Rachel Cruze. Thank you so much for joining us. Everybody, go start money maxing. Thanks, Rachel.
Thank you.
Be sure to like and
Okay. All right. This made me, while I was listening to Rachel Cruze, shout out to Rachel Cruze. I watch her show. I tap in the Dave Ramsey show. I can say for me, I'm just personal anecdotal. I know that like I had a life event and things changed a bit, right? So the financials and the way in which, if I had to say, was it a real lifestyle creep? Not too much. You gotta, for me, it's when you're like, cause I had my own place before I moved back in. My mom would not for a little bit, for now. So the expenditures and stuff like different. So like me right now, like the thing that I have, and I haven't talked, or at least I have earlier videos where I've talked about it. And they're still up, but I have a car note and I have some straggling student loan debt. Now with my student loan debt, I am current. I had stopped paying it for a second, which again, I know the whole repayment system, which I'm fine with capping it and things like that. I think it's just a matter of just knocking out each loan. So when I was paying my loans, I was paying the loan, right? But all the money I was paying was just going to the interest instead of just picking an individual loan. But I also had a car note previously that I paid off before I had my current one. Now, I got into a car accident and I put some down payment. I am a proponent of, if you can, put a down payment down for a car. Get a car note if you have to, not because you want to, if you have to. And make sure it's something you can afford and something you can pay, and don't go as you make more money and don't adjust your lifestyle too much, right? Keep your lifestyle relatively the same. So for me, I had credit card issues not a decade ago. I'm sorry. It's about 12 years ago. This was maybe right around the time before I moved out of my mom's house. And I did the cash transfers. I tried to like outsmart myself. I tried to be cute with my money. And eventually I got my head cracked in, right? I had notices that came in the mail. People were like, hey, you don't get this money to us, we're going to collect this, that, and third. And I wasn't financially where I'm at, like where I'm at in life now. I wasn't where I was. Where I'm at now is where I was then. But ain't which way. So I had a financial death by 1,000 cuts. So I would transfer, I will move this money from this card. And it was hellacious, y'all. It was hellacious. So for so much so to the fact that I stay away from credit cards. Now I know that I have debt and I acknowledge that, right? And that doesn't mean that I won't clear the debt, because I already get it. If I'm going to be paying something outside of a home mortgage, I'd rather be paying on one particular thing because at that point it's a lot easier with just pay the smallest, largest, and just go from there, right? And don't increase your lifestyle. If you can't afford it, you can't afford it, but just put it on hold. So I'm in the process of readjusting, right? I'm in the process of adjusting. It's been a bit of a process. Basically, just trying to basically in short term or layman's terms, or if I'm clear, just trying to get away everything is 100% me. And even if I'm owing anybody, it's everything is I can basically just see, okay, this go here, this go here, this is going here, this is going here, this is going here, right? Essentially. But yeah, I know people who deal with credit cards, but I can't do it. I already use my own money or just save up, or build a sinking fund for it. I'd rather build a sinking fund and just count the cost from there. So it's been a bit of an adjustment because what my living situation, life situation was before. I'm not saying it won't. And again, that can change. All can change in the future. So it's not okay. This is just where we at. If it makes sense. Credit card debt has been a thing and it's up there, whatnot. Like I know they fight with the student loans and stuff like that, but it's up there. And I think people, guys, ladies and gents, if you can like pay them off and cut them bad boys up, please. Let me. This is how I feel about credit card debt and all type of debt. And I get I like same thing because you got medical debt, like you got other things in life, other things can happen, right? And I think a lot of times it is 80% behavior, 20% head knowledge. Just our behavior. We have to look inside the mirror. And even me over here tonight, audit, the host of the channel, I have to look at myself every day and say, okay, hey, Chaz, this is on you. Or as Jesus would say in the Bible, hey, in order to build, you're not going to build a building without counting the cost. You got to count the cost of it. And if it takes a little bit longer to get it, that's fine. Why everybody out there partying, trying to live FOMO, living, saying fear of missing out. I'm just over here staying down, trying to stay down. If I'm gonna have a little fun, do things as minimal, whatnot, and not too extravagant where it sets me back. So I think that for me, the mindset and everything, not to go back to, I think I can get, and it's getting there. And on this channel, whatnot, I can give y'all, we have more stories like this. Pretty sure we have more stories like this in the future. And I can give y'all a little bit more context on it. But yeah, it's bad. It's bad. People adjust their lifestyles to what they're making and they're living paycheck to paycheck, even if they make 100,000+ or 200,000, they live and check to check. They live and check to check. More people are broke out there. They're rich on paper, but they're broke in real life. We might have, even now, if my situation, I feel like I have more money than them. You might feel like you have more money than them. So I think it's just I would say my thing is, if where you at with your debt, I think the goal there is not to add any more to it. And if you got to press pause on something, that's one thing about their baby steps. You got to press pause. Don't sacrifice your four walls, your food, your transportation, your shelter, and clothes. Those people, listen, they'll be like, hey, listen, you can handle a late fee. You can handle that. Hey, listen, I get to you when I get to you. I pay you what I can pay you until you get caught up. It's something I have to be more disciplined. I'm aware, and I know there are some disciplines that I have to be more tighter in areas. So I have to audit my life as well before life audits me. For life audits it for me, because I don't want to end up like that. I don't want to end up with what an average amount of credit. Was it six? What's this number? This number right here, I think, not 1.4 trillion, but there was a number that was shown. Yeah, you see that number right there? This number, I'm gonna blow it up. 6, nah, and I know this is not a money channel, and I know mainly we cover the news. We audit, we talk about the news. I cover the news, and again, it's all about auditing life before life audits it for you. You want to take what if it's from a financial audit of your life, a personal audit of your life, a spiritual audit of your life. All those things apply, right? We're all trying to work on being better each and every day, with our finances, with our spirituality, with our career goals, for family, all that. We're working to be better, trying to be better individuals each and every day. So we're not trying to end up like that, because that hurts. That sucks. And you rather be current on things. You rather not fall behind. If you gotta fall behind for a season, okay, you get some time to catch things back up. Because even as I know the size and wages and things like that, but it doesn't matter if people are just using credit cards. I know people use credit cards for different reasons. My only thing about that is, even if I know there's people who got it and pay it off every month. My thing is, I don't want to be making anybody else rich. I don't want to make them more rich than I've already have. And I get it. If you're rich, you like, oh shit, ain't it? Yeah, but it's like you're giving them money to them. You're keeping them in business. But my questions are, I think another question is, are like I guess the question is, are financial institutions adjusting credit card limits and interest structures for max out? Yeah, yeah, yeah. If they keep the card, yeah. Now if they credit ain't in the toilet, yeah, absolutely. And it says, what are the credit risk guidelines permitted high card utilization and default rates amongst? Let's look at that. Let's look at that real quick. That's a good question. I think it's okay. Let me look at this real quick. Let me pull this up. But I hope this making sense, y'all. Again, it's just not like I said. No, and nobody listen. You don't need to be ashamed. If you are in debt, if you find yourself in debt for whatever reason, it's fine. Just the goal is to get out of it. I don't expect you to be in debt forever. I don't want to be in debt forever. You want to be debt free 100%. If you own a home or whatnot. But which I know according to Dave Ramsey, they're fine with that because with a home, if all else fails, you can always sell it. I know they can talk about refinancing it and stuff like that, but if all else fails, you can always hit the nuclear option, just sell the house and move into an apartment and go from there. But let me see if I can look this up real quick. I'm just saying credit risk guidelines. Because I did a thing called tribal math, whatnot. Because that's what I was doing. My math was my math is getting to the point where it's my math. It's not Chaz math. The math is the math. And the math and the numbers don't have no feelings and emotions. Always remember that. For high card utilization. Let's see if we can pop something real quick. So the answer to that is, it says 30% or below. That's all it's pretty much saying. It says, well, so credit utilization is revolving balance divided by limit, and it drives about 30% of your score. Keep it under 30% as a floor, and ideally under 10%. Watch both pre-card and overall ratios and pay before the statement closes. So the lower number is what gets reported. Again, I just say, if you can stay out of the credit card debt, if you're winning in life without credit card debt, without having to touch credit card debt, let me give you a hand clap. Listen, man, like $4 trillion. They say $1 trillion. They say overall, but just like, this is crazy. This is insane. We got to get it together. We got to tighten up. We got to definitely tighten up. And I believe in us. I believe in everybody will. I know this message may be for the majority, but I may be speaking to the minority. But whoever it reaches, listen, where you are, you're not going to be there forever. You know what I'm saying? You got to think 10 years, 5 to 17 years now. Listen, this will be a thing in the past. This will just be part of your testimony. You know what I'm saying? Because it is biblical. It is biblically speaking, biblical God disdain debt too. That's so. Trust me, in my real life, whatnot, I be crunching numbers, trying to figure it out, trying to make it. Sometimes I figure it out, and sometimes I'm looking like I'm stuck. That's it. I can't do nothing till the next time, and this is where I'm at. But hope y'all find it a little insightful. Hope you find some value in that. So we're gonna move on to the next story. You all let me know in the comments on where you are with your finances. You gotta be ultra detailed. But if you are in debt, regardless, if you're in debt, out of debt, regardless, you let us know at the Night Audit and what are the things you've done or do and tips and tricks and all that we can, words of wisdom and advice that we can pass along, that we all can help each other do better, right? To make sure we audit life before life audits us. Yeah. All right. So this next story, I'm going to play a video. I talked about the senior teacher. Let's see. On that video. Change this, and I'm going to play this video real quick and play this.
So I am on my lunch break. It is, I don't know, 11:30 or something like that. And I just finished a 3-hour class. We have what's called block, and block is where first and second periods are combined for subjects that need it. And I literally broke down in the middle of class because I'm teaching seniors. These kids are leaving high school and going to college, hopefully, after they finish. We had 2 paragraphs to read, 1 sentence complete to write. I gave them the sentence stems. I basically completed the sentence for them in the mind. These are 17 and 18-year-old kids, and they couldn't fill in 4 words. 4 words. I gave them a scenario. We annotated together. I gave them the answers before we even had the problem, and they couldn't do it. I don't know. I simply don't know where the problem is. This is only day 2, and I have seniors who simply cannot read, and seniors cannot. They cannot write. They can reason. They have the ability to defend their reasoning if it's talking to their homeboy, but applying that to a written text, 2 paragraphs, that they couldn't do it. Our young black men, our young brown men, our young black girls, and our young brown girls. Oh, God.
So I played that video. I actually did a story. I covered this Friday. And so I actually, the video is out. And I actually pulled a video up on YouTube just to kind of read some of the comments. So this was, I'm going to read 5 of them. So somebody says, dog, if my teacher broke down in tears at my stupidity, I swear I'd die right there on the spot. Oh, this is scarier than any horror film. I just want to give this man a hug. He truly cares. He's truly a teacher. I was moved. He's truly a teacher. I was so moved seeing how much he worried about the kids. Somebody says, when do I get my phone back? Is the complete sense going through their minds at all times during the class. Insane. As a parent, this is heartbreaking. I'm a teacher and I completely get it. Those are tears of love and frustration, as well as discouragement. So I play that because I'm going to play a story that's out of Nashville of Teacher of the Year resigning because of district practices. I'm about to play it. I'm about to let you know what's popping.
40 hours a week with these students, so we know them better than the district and those fake numbers. Please stop undermining our professional decisions because honestly, it's breaking the efficiency and it's giving HOA quality.
A Teacher of the Year with Metro Schools is speaking out to News 2, explaining why she resigned. Welcome into News 2 at 4. I'm Kendall Ashmith.
And I'm Tori Gessner. Samira Hardcastle graduated from Metro Schools, then taught for them for 8 years. Here's News 2's Alexia Chiropoulos with more. I was Teacher of the Year at John F. Kennedy Middle School in Antioch. What you have in front of you right now is my resignation letter.
Former Metro District school teacher Samira Hardcastle taught for nearly a decade.
I love making a difference.
But over the years, her concerns grew, which she says led to her quitting in May.
It became where I really wasn't even teaching anymore.
She walked me through the major reasons why. The first related to
District leaders asked me to fabricate grades for a parent who sat in the office for hours until her daughter's failing grades were changed. The kids don't put in the work, they get the grade they earned. And the parents would come and complain and argue and say that I didn't do something correctly. And so then when the district gets involved, they just side with the parent to shut them up.
I reached out to Metro Schools for comments. Specifically regarding grading, they say in part, quote, there was no written school-wide policy at the time that prohibited the student from being given an opportunity to complete the work. After the work was submitted, the principal independently reviewed the assignment and determined the score it earned. The principal did not select a score for the purpose of producing a particular final course grade, end quote. But grading was just the tip of the iceberg.
Maybe 7 or 8 of those kids out of each class are large behavior issues.
She says protocol for student discipline meant calling parents first.
Parents will cuss you out. You write them up. You're not allowed to fully document the write-up because it will look bad on the school. We're forced to keep them in our classroom.
To that, MMPS tells me in part, quote, "We have no evidence that this allegation has been substantiated at JFK Middle School or district-wide. MNPS has established disciplinary processes and procedures that outline appropriate interventions and responses to student behavior." End quote. She also says hundreds of dollars from her paychecks went missing.
Like $500. It set me behind on my mortgage, and then I'm wondering why, and they sent out that email saying that it was to pay other employees. That's unacceptable.
MNPS says to that, in part, quote, "We reviewed the former employees' payroll records and found no evidence that MNPS withheld or took back pay in order to pay other employees. It is possible the concern relates to required tax withholdings from a state-funded teacher bonus," end quote. During the Metro meeting, this was the board's response.
You the time.
Okay.
But you can email that to the board.
I'm not emailing them because why? They're not going to respond. Or if they do, it'll be some fake email that their PR team sends out, and I'm just not interested.
Now, since her social media post has gone viral, the majority of Metro District teachers that she's heard from say they have these same concerns. She hopes parents across Nashville start asking questions. To read the full statements from school district leaders, visit our website, WKRN.com. Tori.
Thanks, Alexia.
First of all, I'm going to say this, right? It was going through my mind as well. She's not going to stay unemployed long. She has the it factor. She's feminine. She's a fine looking woman. Shout out to listen. Hold on. Over here, the Night Audit. He got this look. She got the smile. She got this everything, right? Listen, I know we got a story to cover. I got a story to cover, but listen. You see the hair? Look, some of these pictures. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm sorry. Look, man, look at that. Anyway, all right. Listen. I'm a man. Listen, you rather get mad at me if I like a woman or a man. I think y'all should be more worried if I start complimenting men and that woman is fine. She's a great looking woman, right? And she's an excellent educator, right? Facts. Okay. I did a little bit deep diving on this, and the reason why I played both videos and whatnot, and I just got to say, I was thinking on this. The Lord knows I was really thinking about this because I had this in the chamber last night, and today I was thinking like, what am I going to talk about this? I believe, and I know this has been a thing for a long time, or for a while, but I really think we have an education crisis. The teachers underpaid. I know it's been fights with the student unions, not student unions, but the teachers union, layoffs. We literally, and I read the numbers out again. Y'all can watch that video. Seniors can't read video. I literally thought like to myself, like, because I read the article and I was just like, the little girl failed an art class and she gave her opportunity to redo it. She didn't do it. And so she gave the grade she deserved. So the principal and them, they override her and gave her the grade anyway, whatnot, gave her the passing grade. I'm looking at myself like, this is art class. Like, how you fail art? All you got to do is draw a line. Even if you're not the greatest drawer of all time, but you understand, you could be an architecture. You could be a future architecture. Because also I see more videos, and I know y'all might think, oh, Chaz, you like this woman. She's a good-looking woman, but she's actually an artist. She's actually in my, you might check. Listen, I did some deep dives. I did some reconnaissance. I did some auditing. Okay. All right. But she's dope. She's a dope artist. So again, she's not going to go without a job. Right? She's not going to go without no work. She's probably already had something on the side anyway, right? But she really had a love for teaching art, right? It's art class. All you got to do is draw a line. I'm just not saying I don't want to make it simplistic as that. But it's also equated this to gym class. It's like somebody failed in gym. How do you fail gym? Listen, only a white liberal, listen, I'm going there. Listen, because Black people, we wouldn't have that. We will pick on your ass and say, why are you failing art? Be some white families that might say the same thing, other families might say the same thing. Son, why you failing art? Sarah, why you, it's art, girl. It's art class. All you gotta do is draw a circle. A circle. It's so simple. Draw a circle. Draw a triangle. Okay? Color. You know what I'm saying? Just pretend that you listen. We will get so chewed out because she was trying to maintain the mother was trying to she was trying to maintain her daughter's AB honor roll. And I'm just saying to myself, like, you're fighting hard to keep on A. She can't even fail. This is art class. It's not, I'm not saying art gotta be easy A because you really gotta really do your work. You really gotta do it, right? But I'm saying gym class, all you gotta do is have some gym clothes, gym shoes, put some gym shoes on. You gotta participate, but that's an easy A. That is an easy A. And all the other teachers out there, you know, they all like, cause there was another teacher at a high school that was in a similar situation as well. And I was just looking like, they saying there's no statewide policy, no school-wide policy. Why is it? Why is it not? We really, again, like we have a fight with listen, I don't think it's the policies. Now I know there might be this is more state. I know it's federal, state, and local and things like that. But I really think the mechanics of education, even though it has evolved because of technology and stuff like that, but the essence of it, the core of it shouldn't be that it shouldn't change. Why are we having temper tantrums because our daughter or son can't draw a circle? Now I know you might say, Chaz, that doesn't have anything. Listen, they don't. What does drawing a circle has to do with? What does drawing a circle? How does drawing a circle would benefit to have a prosperous life? You're missing the point there, fool. No, I'm sorry to call you, but you know anybody who. It's the fact that you think you can just scurry through life without consequences. If you just simply think you can just show up and half-ass it a bit, I don't care if it's art class, I don't care if it's gym class. I know I made a joke, but listen, it's serious because it permeates. It goes to middle school, it goes to high school, it goes to life. Now I know we all have got some idea of our homework and stuff like that. We might don't feel like doing our homework today. Got you. But for the most part, we know we can't be doing this for the rest of our lives. Eventually, we're gonna have to sit our butts down, learn this stuff, do it, and get the passing grade. A lot of us just need the passing grade. You have all other times that like to be an AB. It's not gonna really matter. You're an AB honor roll student on paper, but you're an F of a student in real life. And you are a freaking failure as a parent in life as well. And you bloodthirsty Nashville school system, this school system out there, you all are running a mob. You got the folks scared. You allegedly drawing checks out of people. You drawing extra money out of folks' checks, some kind of state fund teacher bonus. And she talked to y'all. She said y'all giving HOA vibes, whatnot. Y'all after all that, y'all told her y'all can email her. No, man, I'm not emailing you. Put this woman back on. No, I'm not. I know y'all, but y'all said sure. No, I'm talking about this woman right here. No, not Samaya. Not Samaya. These people, these witches up here. And I said witches, okay? These witches up here. The diversity, equity, inclusion. They only got one man up there. Maybe listen, the diversity, equity, inclusion gang up there. And I'll say the Metro Nashville Public School System, Board of Education, the DEI sector, right? The go along, get along game. Listen, I'm out of high school. Y'all miss me. Because it's the reason why I say it's the people. It's not just the policy. It's the people. Do you all actually care and give a damn about y'all jobs as educators? Because them ladies up there were probably former teachers before they became. Now I know some of them could be elected, some of them could come from the outside or whatnot, but most of them came up through the ranks. So most of you, I'm trying to think of a very colorful euphemism. You mofos up there, all 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, all 9 of y'all up there. All y'all And because she went to school, girl, all y'all came up through the ranks. Y'all was in her position before. Y'all was in her shoes before. At some point, y'all love what y'all did. Why made y'all cry? Y'all love to show up for these kids. They be like, Miss Sarah, miss this, miss that. Oh, my, but you see people grow up and graduate and you start a family. Listen, where did it all go? Where did the love go? And I think, like I said, I think this is a clash between policy and people. So it's why y'all don't have let me wind this back. Not this. I'm gonna go back to the part about this. It says we have no evidence that this alleged allegation has been substantiated at JFK Middle School or district wide. And Metro Nashville public school system has established disciplinary processes and procedures out. Really. I know. I'm keep going. I know. I just stopped there. Listen. I'm trying to see. Listen, it says there was no written school-wide policy at the time that prohibited the student from being given an opportunity to complete the work. What? How long y'all been in existence? We gonna ask the who, what, when, and where, and how. How long y'all been in existence? And y'all don't have no school-wide policy that prohibits a student from being given the opportunity to complete the work after the work was submitted. And they say the principal independently reviewed the assignment and determined the score it earned. The principal did not select a score for the purpose. Why is the principal stepping into it? It don't matter. Why do that? That sets a dangerous precedent. That's a slippery slope. Y'all are just passing these kids along. And now y'all got the guy that's saying to see these people, those kids become seniors. And they can't read. If you can't draw, you can't read. It's okay. Listen, all right, we get you. You can't draw. Now you can't write. You can't read. You can't even read the shapes on the paper. It's a circle. How do you know it's a circle? I don't know, because you said it. This is insane. Y'all running some kind of mob. Y'all running some kind of mafia up there. What is it? Listen, I shout out Nashville. I love visiting Nashville, but I ain't know y'all school systems are like this, man. Listen. Y'all lost a teacher of the year. Y'all fumbled away a teacher of the year. Think about that. Now, I'm not saying she ain't the only teacher of the year, but somebody that showed up and did her job and did it effectively and looked very good at doing it. My eyes work. They ain't broken. She got a very keen, sweet spirit. Now, I don't know her real life. I don't know, but I'm just saying from what I see here, y'all found away a great teacher, and more of an exodus is probably gonna follow. Man, I don't know. Some people be like, yeah, people on the behind the scenes like, we're with you, Samaya. I just can't. You bring me. Samaya for me out here for that. She can be a news anchor. She's well spoken. Man, listen. If I can have a work for me, now I might say, Chaz, you're correct. I'm serious. Listen, value. I see value. I'm not, you can, the hair, the skin, all that stuff like that, but I see value. What's this, man? This is crazy. Because it ain't like great teachers come around often. It's not like y'all getting, it's not like there's a drop of bucket of teachers. It might be a drop of bucket of teachers, but I'm saying great teachers, good educators. Because like I said, the diversity, equity, inclusion game here, right? This group, they have lost their way. They have missed the plot. They have completely missed the plot, and they have lost their way. They're like the Israelites. They have lost their way. Shame on y'all. Shame. And I know this. Listen, I know this is a conversation. The union need to step in. Because again, like the policies ain't match up to people. Because the people make the policy. There shouldn't be no reason why a principal got to step in and change a grade if they fail. Let me put it to you another way. If I have this direct, if you short on your mortgage, I don't know. That may not be I don't think that's a good one. No, okay, that is. Yeah. If you short on your mortgage, right, and they put a lien on it, now can you get a lien removed? Yeah, but it's illegal. It's a legal, lengthy process. What I mean, I don't know. That may not. Now just scratch that. Scratch it. Listen, scratch that from the books, okay? I'm trying to think, like, I would stay with the financials, right? Because if if you keep fudging the numbers, eventually somebody will find out. If you falsifying documents, that's a better way, right? You start falsifying, if you start just overriding people and giving out grades that they don't deserve, then what does that say about you as an educator? I know I probably was going somewhere. I think I'm going where I need to go with this. And it's a principal who probably have dreams to be a superintendent. You got to remember, these people might want to be a superintendent. They might want to be the board of education or the secretary of education of their state. These people are future going to run for, and I'll be afraid. I will be afraid of the people of Davidson County. I will be madly afraid. In any of the surrounding metro, I will be afraid. Because these people be one of the ones, they want to run stuff. And you don't have the character, you don't have the morals, you don't have the values, you don't have the ethics, and whatever if you did have it before, you threw it out the window for a check, for some power. They give you a little bit of power or whatnot, because you're on the board. They give you a little bit of power, even though board members can be voted off. I know y'all can do what they call no contest, right? Y'all can vote each other's off, right? It don't have to be diversity, equity, inclusion. Get the best people that's qualified to do the job. I don't think none of these people up here are qualified to do that. Maybe I'm gonna say most of them are not qualified to do their job. Y'all got principals out here because he ain't the only principal to do that. They got all of them doing that. I mean, I'm not saying I'm saying all of them have the ability to do it. If you don't want to do the job no more, if you don't want to be a teacher, you don't want to be an educator no more, give it to somebody that wants to do it, that want to do the job effectively, that can better serve the students and the parents of that community and the educators of that community. You're only strong as a person next to you. That's what I'm saying. Education is not going. I take education serious, but again, you need people. It's one thing you need people to care, but it's one thing about it is it starts at home as well. Because again, there should be no reason why the mother should be raising hell because her daughter is about to fail art class. If you should be mad and pissed off at your daughter that she's failing art class, where you just gotta draw a circle and draw a triangle, draw a line, color, paint. I'm not saying I'm making it simplistic, but I'm just because there's some classes where you gotta build some stuff, but it's just the basis of it. She couldn't get the basis right. And she gave opportunity to make up for it. She didn't want to do it. She failed. And you're failing her. You're failing her, and she's gonna fail in life. And she's gonna fall into. She's gonna have kids out of wedlock, and she's gonna be a 2-time baby mother on welfare. If y'all don't correct this, I know I'm mad about this. I know I probably I had questions or whatnot, but I don't even think questions really matter. I don't think the questions. The only way I would say about changing the grade, it would really have to be an extreme circumstance. It would have to be a situation where, let's just say a student went out, they got into a serious accident, whatnot, and they were like 1 point away. Okay, there's some exceptions. And before we get off this, because I'm pretty sure we'll have more on this later, but I say this. There are exceptions to the rule, but there can't be exception to every rule because the rule is no longer, it weakens the mechanism. It weakens it. And these 9 people on this board, and I'll make sure I count it right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 of y'all are weakening the system. And y'all are making the decision for the entire city, all the Metro Nashville public school systems, from elementary to middle school to high school. And even maybe, no, I don't think they do charter schools. They may not touch charter schools like that. That's a state thing. But all of them. Nobody got to see your damn email. I got to see your, I'm not seeing your damn email. You better put this in the record books, like in the courtroom. Was it a stenographer? I make sure I'm saying it. A court reporter. Listen, y'all are just evil motherfuckers. off this story. Y'all let me know what y'all think in the comments section of this. And if any of y'all live in Nashville and y'all got firsthand knowledge of this or more and sense of, I'm pretty sure it happens across the board. But again, specifically to Nashville, people, if anybody living in Nashville or have known this, y'all let your boy over here know, and so we can get a better understanding of what's going on. I think I have a great understanding of what's going on, but people on the ground, the people there should be able to speak to this better than I can. All right, we're gonna move over to Seattle, our last story of the night. We gotta talk about Seattle's recall, the reacts to the mayor's recall right now.
A recall effort is now underway against Seattle Mayor Katie Wilson, the first recall attempt against a Seattle mayor since 2020. But it faces a number of legal hurdles before it would ever reach signatures on a petition.
So how are people feeling about it across the city? Fox 13's Dan Griffin hit the streets to see what they had to say.
We went to several Seattle neighborhoods trying to get a gauge on how people are feeling about even the slightest chance of a recall.
You get rid of the police chief, but where are you at? You don't need to be sitting there either.
Tough words from Elizabeth White. She's lived in the Central District her whole life and in the same house for 74 years. White knows about the recall charges filed against Mayor Katie Wilson.
I'm waiting to see what happens. I'm waiting to see, do I need to step in and try and help with that? Because she's not doing what she said you're going to do. And if you can't do what you said you're going to do, you need to step back.
King County elections documents show the pair behind the push for a recall took issue with the removal of Chief Chaz Barnes in the middle of the Bite of Seattle shooting investigation, the handling of CCTV cameras, as well as unaddressed crime in the North Aurora neighborhood and Chinatown International District. Henry Koo owns a restaurant in the CID and knows the area very well.
You can see my back, even worse than before.
His message for the mayor?
We as small citizens, we only wish is we have a clean, beautiful city and safety. What you give to us, so simple.
On Queen Anne,
I'm happy with it. I really think it's a good idea. Don't think she should have been elected in the first place.
many wouldn't go on camera, some because they feel the topic is too politically charged, but there were Wilson supporters praising her performance and who said they'd vote for her again. For those who don't agree, they feel like it's a tough time in the city and they're looking for a leader.
We deserve the best we can get. And that's what we call ourselves trying to do, is get the best we can get.
So what's to come of the recall charges? That's to be seen, but for those who've been thinking about it, it's certainly become a topic of conversation. In the Central District, Dan Griffin, Fox 13 News.
It is not, what is it, sleepless in Seattle? That's the thing? Yeah, it's sleepless in Seattle over there. I think it's, listen, this is the first time, like, people, y'all voted for her. Y'all got to deal with her. Y'all got to deal with her unless y'all can get her out of office and whatnot. And hopefully y'all don't vote the same person like her in office again. Okay. So let's see what's going on. Let's see what we can, let's see if we can do some deep dives, because this is crazy. This is the voters. It says, here's an article here. Here's a survey. People took a survey. I don't know how accurate this survey is, right? It says a new survey released on Monday suggests that Seattle voters lack confidence in Mayor Katie Wilson's plans to, because I covered some stories on Katie Wilson and it's not great. Okay. She's doing a terrible job. Improve public safety in the midst fallout from the mass shooting of the Bite of Seattle. Survey was conducted, and okay, they only did 500 Seattle voters. Enough, man. But of that 500, we'll just say that low sample size. Of 500 of the 500, of 2/3 of those voters said they're not confident in Wilson's has an effective plan to improve public safety in the Pacific Northwest's largest city. And they did this survey between August 10th and the 13th, which was so essentially like last week or so. It says amongst those, 9% said they were very confident. 25% were somewhat confident that Wilson has an effective public safety plan. Meanwhile, 40% said they were not confident at all. Progressive voters in Seattle remain supportive. Of course, y'all want this nonsense. Y'all want the homelessness. Y'all want the crimes. Y'all want all the higher property taxes and stuff like that. And then y'all want you want the drugs on the streets, right? You want Mr. Henry over here, Mr. Henry Kong or Kong. You want and this lady over here. I'm sorry, the 74-year-old lady here. I'm sorry, I didn't get her name. Let me see. She's been living in the same space for 74 years. So she's seen enough. So she's very qualified. Mr. Henry's very qualified. He's very qualified. What's his name? Was it Matterson? He's somewhat qualified, but she's very qualified, right? Right. So anyway, let me finish up reading here. The dot said 70% said they was confident she has a plan to address the city's most pressing issues. However, majority of voters identified as liberal, moderate, and conservative said they're not confident in her plan. What was the reason y'all voted for her anyway? Why did y'all vote for her? Why did y'all place y'all trust? Why did the overall majority of y'all place y'all trust in Katie Wilson? That is the question. It's just the same thing in Brandon Johnson in Chicago and Karen Bass in Los Angeles. And even really, they must ran on the message of hope. They must ran on the message of hope. Hope. Anyway, it says that the survey also found a shift in voter sentiment. At the start of, that's what I'm saying. There's only 500 people that voted anyway. So not everybody, this is not enough, but these voices do matter. At the start of Wilson's term in January, 57% of voters said they felt the city was heading in the right direction. 8 months later, that figure has fallen to 48%. Why did y'all vote for her? Crime in Seattle sharply fell in the first half of 2026, with June marking the first month without a homicide in the city since 1970. Citywide shootings dropped more than 20% and homicides fell more than 30% in the first half of 2026, but the crime is still there. Compared to the same period last year, according to Seattle Police Department data, we don't know if those stats are really true or not. I think y'all juking the stats here. They said the city's CCTV pilot program has been a public safety debate following the bite of Seattle shooting, with critics arguing that cameras deactivated by Wilson should be reactivated. According to the city, that's like the flock cameras. That's why, again, I think in bad neighborhoods, they're not complaining about it. They need all the surveillance. They need all the surveillance possible to catch all the criminals and catch all the crime. This is only some liberals are cutting down the damn cameras. Anyway, 5% of voters either strongly or somewhere support the city's CCTV program, while 25% oppose it. Among progressive voters, 55% said they support the program. Okay, all right. One more thing. I'm trying to see what else we can mine out here. So if I had to say, let me see if there's any more to mine out of here. Let me see. Any more? So my thing is that y'all felt great at the beginning of the year of her term. Now y'all don't feel so bad. Now y'all feel awful about where she was going, where the city is going. Y'all gotta deal with her. Y'all stuck. Listen, I can read more of this, but it's essentially y'all is stuck with this lady for the next 3 years. Seattle. So let me give y'all gotta deal with this person. A lot of times we have to suffer through the decisions that we ultimately make. Okay. Because a lot of times we rail and rebel against the thing that's best for us. Even if it was, I'm not saying it was a Democrat, somebody that has the people's best interests, right? That's going to push the city in the right direction. Now, I would say don't depend on them to fix your life. That is your job, right? That's your job to make sure you fix your life, fix your home. That's why I always say audit life before life audits it for you. So don't let these people audit your life, because they can't. They can't run a city to save their lives, right? Because what did Katie Wilson? Who was Katie Wilson before all of this? Who was Katie Wilson? What did Katie Wilson do? What did Katie Wilson self-described? Is a self-described socialist Democrat? No, I'm just trying to see what was Katie Wilson's. Oh, she was part of the Trans Riders Union. Let me see what her early life was. What'd she do before she said, you know what, I want to run for office. So she was the co-founder, executive director of the Trans Riders Union, a group that focuses on improving public transportation and workers' rights. Is that the thing she ran on? I'm not saying, listen, she worked in construction, said she worked construction as an office assistant. So your background, your focus, which I'm not saying is not bad, but I'm looking like, okay, but I think you're just running you're only talking about one sector of public safety. Does matter. Public safety matters, education matters, and I think it's public safety, education, and quality of life overall. I think those are three things. So I don't know what she ran on. What did she run on? Did she run on that? Or no? Because I know things can change when people get in office. So whatever she ran on and galvanized, that galvanized you all who the 50 because y'all all saying no. I think a lot of people just vote just to vote, right? They just vote down ballot. They're not informed. And that's the scary thing. So I think the scary thing is not informed voters, but uninformed voters. Uninformed voters are the worst ones. So I think there's probably some uninformed progressives, there's some uninformed moderates, and there's and there's some heavy conservatives as well. But I'm pretty sure the conservatives didn't vote for her. Overwhelming majority probably didn't vote for her. It's like, no, we ain't voting for this woman. But Seattle got a problem, and I've covered it. I've covered it a little bit on this channel so far. But the people of Seattle, because I don't think the recall charge is gonna really go anywhere. I don't think they're really gonna do anything. But I think if she was running now, before we close this out, if she was running for office, let's say she was running for re-election, let's say this was an election season, more likely than not, that was probably the death knell. Like with all that's been going on, that she'll be a one-term mayor. Still could be a one-term mayor and whatnot, but Seattle got a long ways to go. According to these pictures and what I'm watching and what I'm reporting on, y'all got a long ways to go. Y'all got to suffer. And I know that the winters be brutal. It rains all the time. It rains it rains season. It rains half the year. It ain't barely no sunlight. Oh, yeah, man. Listen. I gotta suffer. In order to get to the other side, you gotta suffer. Or move out. Or move. Move to Portland. I don't know. Portland ain't no better. Y'all gotta move to Olympia. I don't know. That's the capital, right? The capital. I don't know, man. I don't know. Y'all had to move up out of there. Some of y'all had to move. Y'all had to get up out of there. That's insane. Because the 74-year-old, she's holding on. You know what I'm saying? Like, folks just holding on out there. Y'all just holding on out there. Ooh. Shoot. I don't know, man. I don't know. No. What official city charter protocols were neglected during the recent public safety incidents? I think the lack of response time, the press conference, I know there was infighting about the resignation of the police chief. He was getting into it with people. It's just a monkey. I'm not a monkey. I'm sorry. It was just a playpen of mess, man. It was just mess. Just a lot. I don't know. Cause let me see if I can mine anything else out. I know they mentioned about the homelessness. The second most, the homelessness they continue to grapple with homelessness. The King County Regional Homeless Authority in June found 11,829 unsheltered people experiencing homelessness in 2026, increased from 2019 from 2024 when Wilson began her term. She launched the effort to rapidly expand shelter capacity in the city. Recently, the city opened a new 75-unit tiny home village in the Inner Bay neighborhood, with plans to add 4 more to the sites to combine with the 228 additional units. I don't know, man. They're proposing implementing regular foot and bicycle patrols in areas such as Seattle's Little Synagogue neighborhood. Received most of the report, with 74% of voters saying they strongly support the idea. Yeah, she got a ways to go, man. She got a ways to go. Seattle, keep up the faith. Keep up the faith. Y'all let me know what's going on out there in Seattle. Anybody in Seattle, y'all let me know. Y'all give me some more insight. Because again, the city is like even they had the World Cup. They hosted the World Cup there. They cleaned up what was it? Pike Street? Pine Street or something like that. They cleaned it up. And they still, just because they push the homeless down the street, they push the drugs down the street, it's still there. It's still there. All right, this concludes this episode of Night Audit. Yeah. Make sure y'all hit the like button, comment, subscribe, rate, and review. If you find value in all this, I will try to upload this tonight. If not, be tomorrow. Again, I love you all. I appreciate you all. As always, audit your life before audit your life before life audits it for you. And don't wait on the government to fix your problems or fix your life. You fix it for yourself. I'm your host, Chaz Barnes. We're out. Catch y'all on the next one. Peace.